You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Hello.
Hi.
And welcome back once again to Wheel Takes, a podcast about the Wheel of Time, a series of fantasy novels written by Robert Jordan and completed by Brandon Sanderson. My name's Gus, and it's early, and I've read all of them.
I'm Allie, and it's early, and I have read Book 12, Chapter 36.
That's the only chapter you've read. Just kidding. Yeah. She's read through Book 12. She just picked it up.
What the fuck is happening?
She came in off the street. She was like, I don't know, fucking, yeah, okay, let's check this shit out. That would be a hell of a chapter to pick it up with.
You're like, well,
she's got an old woman saying confusing things and demanding stuff, and then somebody declares that they're dead, which I'm sure got your pulse pounding for a second, and then turns out they're not dead.
I was disappointed.
You know what? We all were. Everybody was. I was so excited for you to read a chapter called The Death of Tuon, because I thought you'd be like, oh my god.
I was
it's like, happening.
Finally.
My dreams.
Please.
Come true.
It's like I've never wanted anyone dead more than Tylin.
That's valid. This podcast only contains spoilers, by the way, for what Allie's already read.
I don't want her dead more than Tylin. I want her dead the same.
Which is, again, everything up to and including The Gathering Storm, Chapter 36, The Death of Tuon. We're in serious business mode right now.
Yeah, this is a serious podcast.
Because we have a live reaction that some time ago, with the anticipation that we would have a given amount of time to get through all of these chapters, we set up for 1 hour from now.
Did you know that you have 30 minutes?
30 minutes?
30 minutes. No, this is a serious podcast. There will be no joking.
Allie, here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Where did we leave off?
Yeah, we have to. This is business mode. Today I am a serious goose.
No.
I'm a serious goose.
Never. Where did we leave off?
Serious goose. I don't fucking know. And we don't have time for me to think. Let's
Allie,
go.
it was your favorite chapter of all time. The funniest chapter of all time.
Oh, Matt and his
hilariously overwrought backstories.
I loved it.
And
I think everyone is wrong.
We're picking it up here in Chapter 35, a halo of blackness. That's the logo. What's that?
That is a helmet. A shotgun helmet.
Did you take any notes?
I didn't.
Oh,
I'm sorry. This was very last minute.
The cool sea breeze washed across Rand the moment he rode through the gateway. That soft, feather-like wind carried with it the sense of 1,000 cook fires scattered through the city of Falm, heating morning stews. I could go for a morning stew.
I could go for morning, noon, or night stew.
I just like stew. I should make more of that turkey stew. Serious podcast.
Serious podcast.
We don't joke here. We don't talk about anime battles in the sky.
Stay on topics.
It can't be done. It can't be done. It must be done. It can't be done.
Serious podcast. Go.
It will be done.
Go.
It's not being done.
Guys.
Okay. Tell me about this chapter.
Verin shows up.
No, she doesn't.
No?
That's next chapter.
What? It's swapped in my book.
Yeah. No, what? No, what?
Yeah. Tuon was the last thing I read.
Yeah, Tuon is also the first thing you read.
Oh. What?
Rand goes to this meeting, and then he leans over the table and stares at her really hard.
Rand beefs it. Rand beefs.
Is Rand the only one who beefs it?
No, because Tuon also beefs it. Both of them are the beefiest beefersons. Beefiest beefersons I've ever seen. I haven't seen this much beef since Beef the TV show.
We haven't finished that yet.
I know.
Famously.
Serious
podcast.
Serious podcast. Serious podcast. Okay, so then Rand acts like an absolute psycho.
It kind of does.
Like, leans across the table, stares at Tuon and just goes, "You will do what I say." I'm like, Rand, this is why we've been having this conversation where I'm like, being this nihilistic asshole who just tries to throw Verin at people, it's creepy and weird, and no one likes it. It
ain't so good. It doesn't work out for you so good.
When you don't have the opposite side of the coin to the nothing matters, which is then everything matters, it's creepy and weird, and no one likes it. You're just a general bummer all the time, and you don't care about people's feelings.
Rand reined in Tide Pod, unprepared for the memories those scents
Tide Pod?
You once called Tidishar Tide Pod? Years and years ago. If Brandon Sanderson gets to... You were reading this and you stopped and you turned to me last night and you were like, you know, it's really nice how we're kind of like doing this full circle look back stuff. And I was like, yeah.
I kind of got choked up a little bit.
So now I'm doing full circle look back stuff and saying stupid bullshit like Tide Pod.
I like Tide Pod. I forgot about Tide Pod.
Rand reined in Tide Pod Dashar, unprepared for the memories those laundry-ish scents would carry with them. Memories of It's nice. It's good. It's fun. It's cool. It's good. It's well written. It's great. I like it. Rand had visited Falm once, briefly. Back in those days, he hadn't been able to stay anywhere for long. He'd spent those months either chasing or being chased. Fane had led him to Falm, bearing the horn of Valir and the ruby dagger to which Matt had been bound. Falm marked a turn. It's good. At Falm, the shepherd boy had burned, his ashes scattered and blown away by those ocean winds.
All right, well,
from those ashes,
call it back a little bit.
The dragon reborn had risen.
Well, he's kind of a bummer.
He's having a rough ass time.
I gotta be real. He's kind of a bummer. I preferred the shepherd boy.
This was the place where he'd first acknowledged himself as a killer. The place where he'd first realized what a danger he was to those around him. He'd tried to leave them all behind. They'd come after him. So he goes to this, he rolls up to this meeting. Who's he got with him, primarily? Who's like the main person he's got with him?
Nynaeve.
Nynaeve.
Yeah.
Isn't nice?
And Tuon immediately is like, must be
fucking Marath Damani over here.
This woman.
Damn.
And I'm like, if that is your first impulse when you see someone, like, I want to put a leash on you.
Reconsider your entire life.
Either you're part of the BDSM community, in which case consent is sexy. And actually consent is mandatory. Critical. It's not just sexy. But also, oh my God, it's so much easier to talk. Are you serious?
Yeah, Allie has been unlocking her jaw. I think we mentioned that.
I
have also started doing this. Serious podcast.
But wait, you've also started doing this?
Unlocking my jaw. Serious podcast.
I mean, it's behind so many of my issues.
Serious podcast issues.
Serious podcast. Serious podcast with serious podcast issues. So then, he acts like a lunatic. But yeah, either you're part of the BDSM community or you need to take a look at your priorities.
Nynaeve's neat dress of blue and white was cut after the Damani fashion, but made of a much thicker and far more modest material. She seemed to be adopting fashions from around the world, wearing dresses from the cities she visited, but imposing her own sense of what was proper upon them. Once, perhaps, Rand would have found this amusing. That emotion no longer seemed possible for him. He could only feel the cold stillness inside.
Oh my God, ew.
The stillness that capped a fountain of frozen rage.
Ew.
He would keep the rage and stillness balanced long enough.
A holy toxic masculinity. Fuck.
He had
Batman.
And Nynaeve was like, oh, we were here once before. And
Batman.
Like, we were. And she goes, I saw you up in the air.
I can't with the grimdark shit. I can't with the grimdark shit.
You were doing an anime battle in the sky, and I thought, that makes sense. I didn't believe it. I tried to heal that wound, and I was still blocked then and couldn't summon the anger. Min wouldn't leave your side. Min hadn't come with him this day. She remained close to him, but something had changed between them.
Something has changed within me.
Just as he had always feared that it would. When she looked at him...
Something is not the same.
When she looked at him, he knew she saw him killing her. Do you think that's what's happening?
No, I think he's just being creepy and weird.
Is that why Min doesn't want to come? Because she thinks that he'll snap and strangle her?
Well, I don't think she can come with someone who's so creepy. Oh, no. And weird. Could you imagine? He's like over there pumping away going, no,
you
will come.
Serious podcast. Serious podcast. Serious podcast.
You will come.
No. Serious podcast.
You see how creepy and weird it is?
Yeah.
You see how creepy and weird he's being? He's so creepy and weird. He's going to get over this. I know it. I know that the message that we're going to leave off on is not, and this is how Rand should be. I know that's not where we're going with this. However, Rand is being creepy. You will come.
Okay. I hate this. There's a lot happening right now on this
is a
couch.
serious podcast.
I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, if you don't think I'm demonstrating, then you're wrong.
It's scary. So he's got the new sword. By the way, do you remember what the deal is with this sword that he's carrying around?
Is it Callan? No, it's not.
No,
Callan.
it's not Callandor.
Whose is it?
It's probably Arthur Hawkwing's sword Justice, and it is patterned after the sword that Harriet McDougal Rigney gave Brandon Sanderson from Robert Jordan's personal collection.
Of course, he had a collection of swords.
Oh my God, yeah.
You have one. I gave it to you.
Robert Jordan, big time, like historian, military kind of historian guy, loved collecting this kind of stuff.
You know what I would love to have in my collection? The Robert Jordan bobblehead. But that was stolen from me by Leo Weaves.
Now it's on Michael Livingston's desk, which is a good place for it.
No, my desk was a good place for it. I am never going to get over this. I have blood feud with that podcast.
But you know what we do have that we got
them.
from the other auction? We have the books in Japanese. We have like 3 of them in Japanese. I don't read Japanese. I'll never learn Japanese. But we have them. So that's cool. All right, serious podcast.
No, I refuse.
They talk about the Heronmark blade of it all, and then eventually we get to go talk to Tuon.
Here's some BTS of the podcast. Petey's currently kicking me
He is.
in his sleep. I'm so loved.
He's got the Choyden Call with him.
Yeah, and Nynaeve was like, and he goes, just in case.
The figurine of the man
I
holding...
will not be collared again.
The figurine of the...
I will not be you.
Now, we have been asking for... Well, I guess we've been asking for the books
But I have
to
no problem
acknowledge
using every fucking other... I hate him.
Egwene's collaring trauma, and we're mostly getting it from Rand. But Egwene had some, this book. She talked about it quite a few times as well, this book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm also learning about tongue posture.
Serious podcast.
No.
Serious podcast.
No.
With it, he might be able to stand against 100 Damane, 200. He could remember the power he'd held when cleansing Sidene. It had been the power to level cities, to destroy any who stood against him. No, it wouldn't turn to that. He couldn't afford to let it turn to that. Surely the Shan knew that attacking him would lead to disaster.
Don't call me Shirley.
So he's got it with him. He keeps on rubbing it under his pants, and
But no.
Well, it could be worse. He could whip it out in the middle of the meeting.
No. No.
I'm being very serious right now.
This is a serious one.
So he seizes it, Sidene. He seizes Sidene, and then he nearly pukes, and Luce Theron is like, let me have the cookie!
Okay,
and
I'm so sorry. If you think about it from Tuon's perspective, this man is insane. He comes in, he goes, you will.
Well, yeah. I mean, then we get her perspective, and she's like, this dude is completely fucked in the head, and I cannot ally with him. He is a hateful, angry, spiteful creature.
Yeah, you both are, actually.
Does this make you sympathize with Tuon at all?
No, I hate them both equally. They're both at fault for everything that happens next.
So he seizes Sidene.
He can't be normal for 5 fucking minutes.
Slumps in the saddle, gets really nauseous, and starts muttering under his breath. And Nynaeve goes, Rand, are you all right? And he goes, we are fine.
Moraine's right. This would have been so much easier with a girl.
I will not be captured again, he whispered. Never again. They will not take me by surprise. And she's like, maybe we should leave. This is a bad idea.
The toxic masculinity is absolutely bad.
This is not working.
Now.
This is a terrible we stay.
You know these toxic bros are reading this going, yeah, bro, don't show anyone your feelings, bro. Never show anyone that you care about
Never
them.
feel anything. #boner.
Muscle milk.
Fight milk. The power of a crow.
I only eat protein powder. Could you imagine? You just mainline protein powder all day.
When I was lifting a lot of weights,
you just take that cup and just shoot it back. And
I tried to mix it with water once because when I was lifting a lot of weights, I was consuming a lot of protein powder because I was lifting a lot of weights. And at one point, I tried mixing it with water
You look
and drinking
good.
it.
You got shredded.
Thank you. I should do that again. And it was disgusting to just try to drink it. It was horrible.
Wait, do you want to go back to weightlifting starting next Monday?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Handshake.
Okay, great. Serious podcast.
Serious podcast. Because I've been meaning to get back into lifting too. Because I've taken a month hiatus.
Okay. So he goes up and he's like, huh, her chair and my chair are on the same level. That's weird. That doesn't seem like their vibe. They seem pompous and pretentious as fuck.
But that's what, and you know what? Here's the one thing that I'll give Tuon credit for. I know pigs are flying outside.
What is the thing you will give them credit for?
The thing I will give them credit for is they thought about the fact that if she became empress immediately,
Yeah, this was good.
that she'd have to position herself above him, and she didn't think that that would be a good first impression.
According to her own rules, to be clear. Mm-hmm. All right, so he looks and he goes, was this the daughter of the 9 moons, this child? Rand frowned as they approached, but realized she wasn't actually a child, just a very small woman. Rand took a deep breath and dismounted. It was time for peace with the Shan-Chan. And then it switches to Tuon, and he goes, the Dragon Reborn was a young man. Tuon had been told that, but something about it still surprised her. Why should she be surprised by this youth? Conquering heroes were often young. Archer Hawkwing himself had been a young man when he'd begun his conquest.
God forbid. I'm sorry.
He rolls up.
God forbid. God forbid. God forbid. If I'm in the apocalypse, which, you know, we might be, but if I'm in the apocalypse and somebody's like, all right, we've got this plan. This 20-year-old is going to save us. I'd be like,
I'd
we're
crash
dead.
out.
We're
I'd
dead.
crash out on the spot.
We're dead.
Not that it's impossible.
We're dead.
I know a lot of mature, intelligent 20-year-olds.
We're dead. We're dead. We're dead. An American 20-year-old, we're dead.
Can I interest you, if you want older heroes, Allie, can I interest you in a little book called The Malazan Book of the Fallen?
Oh my God. Do you like that book series,
Yes,
guys?
I do. I also like this one.
Do you like that book series? No, so here's the thing. I just need us to have a moratorium on having protagonists who are like 19 years
I get
old.
that. I get that.
I can't read about them anymore. I can't read about, like, and that's perfectly valid. It's just there's so many of them and they're all in their 20s. Can I not have a hero that's 35? Can I not have a hero that's 47? Can I not have a hero that's 53? I just feel like their struggles and stuff. You know why? You know why we can't have a hero that's 53? You know why? Because then it'd only be 3 books.
They just get it figured out.
Yeah, there'd be none of this bullshit.
Yeah.
There'd be no girlfriending. It would all just be chill vibes. As long as they're like a chill, self-actualized 50. You know, they actually did their job in their life and became self-actualized, as opposed to, you know, the lead paint stare type.
All right. So
you know what I'm talking about.
I know what I understand. Bleh. So Rand walks up and he throws himself down on the chair, and she's like, damn, he didn't even question the fact that he would be able to sit opposite me. What a pompous ass.
Well, when you put a chair opposite you for a meeting, you can't be surprised when someone takes the chair.
And
what?
she looks
That's
at
dumb.
She looks at Nynaeve and she's like, ooh, Maraf Damane, weird. And then she looks at what was it, Narishma and Flynn, I think, and she goes, ew.
They should be executed
Soravande
immediately.
Dune, weird.
And I'm like,
but all right,
relax, girly.
And he sits down and she's like, okay, wow, fuck. Okay, I guess, you know what? Sure. I'll wait to declare myself empress until after this meeting so I can sit opposite him, which is considerate of her. And then there's a flash of lightning between 2 clouds. And she goes, oh, Omen, tread very lightly. That's big money. Big money. Not that I needed a reminder to tread lightly when I'm meeting with this fucking guy. And Rand goes, you're the daughter of the 9 moons. She goes, you are the Dragon Reborn. We will make peace, Althor said. Today. Here. And
Okay,
Seleucia is like, that's a lot. And Rand goes, you can tell your bodyguard she can relax. This meeting will not turn to conflict. I will not allow it. She's my voice, Tuon said carefully, and my truth speaker. My bodyguard is the man behind my chair. And Rand goes,
And then Tuon goes like, most people wouldn't guess Seleucia's true, you know, job or whatever.
yeah, kick the shit out of people. That's one of my favorite
I love Seleucia.
little moments between Tom and
Except
Tom
for
and
the fact that she is problematic.
Seleucia and Tom. Remember when we were shipping Seleucia and Tom was when Seleucia kicks the fuck out of the assassins and Tom goes, I'm an old man, and sometimes my eyes play tricks on me and I see things that can't possibly have happened, but then I forget them.
It also might have given me a pants feeling or two.
I may or may not have been a little distracted during the heat of the battle.
That might have been the hottest thing I've seen in a while. And I've been kicked in the head by...
So give me the rundown on how this negotiation goes, darling.
Straight.
Sees
the sleeping
Almarat Moore sends his regards.
Sleeping old man and just...
Tuon goes, what's Tuon's one condition? We have to be able to kick Tom Marilyn in the head.
We need you to present to us all of your old men so we could just kick them all in the head. It's a Sean Chan thing.
I pictured this as like one of those, in the older Bruce
There'll be
Lee
much
movies.
Jubilation in the wake of me declaring myself empress. Much kicking old men in the head.
In the old Bruce Lee movies where like the people jump over other people and it just cuts to this frame of them like suspended in the air while they jump over people. That's how I imagine Almarat Moore just punting Tom in the head with like a flying jump kick.
We call it a good little cranium kick.
Oh God. All right.
Oh my God.
So how did the negotiations go?
This is a serious podcast.
How did the negotiations go?
So badly. Like I couldn't have written it worse.
You wish for...
Maybe if he stabbed her.
You wish for peace. Have you terms for your offer? It is not an offer, but a necessity. The last battle comes. Surely your people remember the prophecies. By prosecuting this war of yours, you endanger us all. What's the thing?
When you're playing a video game and you like know all the like glitches and stuff, you can't like speed run the apocalypse, Rand. He's trying to speed run the apocalypse, and that's stupid.
The last battle would be between the Empire and the forces of the Dark One. Everybody knew that. The prophecies clearly showed that the Empress would defeat those who served the Shadow, and then she would send the Dragon Reborn in to duel with Light Eater. It said so in crayon on the one copy of the Koreathan cycle that we have. You believe the last battle is close then? And he's like, yes, what the fuck? Oh my God, have you been looking around? And she goes, he might be nuts. We gotta watch out. He might be nuts. You must see why this is so important. Why do you fight me? We are the return. The omen said it was time for us to come, and we expected to find a united kingdom, ready to praise us and lend us armies for the last battle. Instead, we found a fractured land that had forgotten its oaths and prepared for nothing. How can you not see that we must fight? It does not bring us pleasure to kill you, no more than it brings a parent joy to discipline a child who has gone astray. And Rand is like, what the fuck? What kind of approach is that? What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, you're a bunch of kids? Let's kill your asses? What the fuck? This is not how you make peace. And she goes, I may have fucked up a little bit with that one.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. But you both are.
And he goes, all right, you got a point. But here's the thing. I already forged the rest of the land together. You don't have to do that. Like, maybe, sure, if I weren't here, yeah, it would have been better for you to come in, bulldoze everybody, and make sure that they could fight the Shadow. But, like, I'm here, and I did that, so you don't got to do all that.
You don't got to do it. Honestly, I feel like a lot of society's problems could be solved if we just said to each other, you don't got to do all that. Unnecessary, unneeded. Thank you for your contribution.
He says, as it is, you are a distraction. We must have peace. Our alliance need last only until my life ends. I assure you that will not be overly long. And she's like, you're fucking weird. And
you are fucking weird. You're both fucking weird.
What?
You know what? It's a weird off right now.
What is her?
It's battle of the fucking weirdos. We've got slaver religious nut job and fucking tweaky McGee over here. Tweaky nihilistic McGee. And the two of them are just facing off in a battle of weird.
What's her?
I hate them both. I want them to be fucking chill.
What's her counter proposal?
It sucks. She's like, let me enslave everyone.
She says, well, you just swear fealty to me and we're good.
That's fucking dumb.
But that's also kind of what Rand's proposal is to her, is you just swear fealty to me.
No, they're both being fucking dumb. No, they're both weird.
Actually, it's not quite. He's
fucking
like,
dumb weirdos
for now.
who are just weird and dumb. I hate them both. This is why 20-year-olds shouldn't run countries.
If you see the value of unification, then perhaps you should unite your lands beneath
I'm sorry,
the
I don't mean to be ageist, but you're just... I know so many beautiful people in their early 20s. Love them to death. They're like my younger siblings I never knew I wanted. And I have a sibling in her freaking early 20s. And it's just, listen, the things that they're concerned about are sweet and also silly. The other day, this is a serious podcast.
Serious
Let's
podcast.
go.
Perhaps you should unite your lands beneath the Shan Shan banner, have your people take the oaths, and no. But surely you can see that one ruler with... No, I will not see another person.
He's the one ruler. Oh, God.
Here's what I like. Here's where I'll give Rand his credit. I will not see another person chained by your foul leashes.
But I will allow it for the ones that are already chained.
They're the only one. They're the only way to deal with those who can channel. We have survived without them for centuries.
Our economy requires the enslavement of people.
And
what are you talking about? Who gives it? If then your economy's bad, fix it.
And you have. This is not a point I will concede. And everyone's like, "Damn, bro, watch your tone."
Okay, Rand's hot again.
Is this all our conversation is to be about?
I'm so mercurial.
We sit across from one another and speak only of our differences. And Rand is like, "You're enslaving 15% of my population. What are you talking about?" That doesn't actually say that, but it's kind of the gist. And then she's
Meanwhile,
like,
Perrin, I'll give you Manetherin.
She goes, well, let's see.
These boys and their Harvard Business School negotiation tactics.
Let's see where we can find common ground. What about Matt Cawthon? And Rand is like,
what about Matt Cawthon?
What? The fuck do you know about Matt Cawthon? Well, tell me about this whole Matt Cawthon thing back and forth they have.
She's like, is he a good man? And Rand is like, he's okay. And then Tuon goes, I've had a bad experience. And then Nynaeve goes, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you talk shit about my friend when he kidnapped you?
This is why you're also more than a little Nynaeve coded, is because Nynaeve shits on Matt constantly. And then the second somebody else says something bad about him, she's like, I'm going to cut you in half.
I don't shit on people.
No. I mean, fictional characters. Talking to fiction.
Oh, yeah.
Where?
No, I am that person, though, that is not afraid to tell it like it is when it comes to things people could work on. My friend and I have this
serious
relationship.
Podcast.
Wait, okay, but this is relevant.
Okay.
My friend and I, one of my best friends and I have this relationship where we know each other so well. We've known each other since we were 15 years old. And we know each other so well that like the other day I was talking to her, I was like, yeah, you know, in scenes, like romantic scenes, I get super flustered and like stammery and stuff. And it like plays really well on stage and it's really cute. And she just goes, do you think that has anything to do with your trauma? And I just looked at her. It was one of the funniest things anyone has ever said to me. I just looked at her and went, well, now I do. And like, it's kind of like that where when I know someone really well, because I am really good at reading people and I have this thing where I can feel people's feelings, and I've made a lot of Uber drivers cry recently because it's becoming more powerful. And I fear, unfortunately, Gus, it has become even worse.
Good.
Now that my jaw is unlocked.
Good.
Like, and so now, like, Gus can't hide an emotion from me. The other day, I could tell he was a little annoyed with me because I wasn't reading fast enough. And I was like, you're just like seething next to me and I can feel it. And he was like, no. And I was like, I know you. I know you so well. You can't have a feeling. And I don't know. But so.
It's like being married to parents.
Yeah. So that's what being with me is like, is I will go like, oh, do you think that has anything? Yeah, I'm the same way as my friend. I will just kind of like say stuff. And then people go, damn, I didn't need to be read like that. And I'm like, I'm not reading anybody. I just know you. And so I know things about you. I have context. And so, yeah, so that's my like thing. But then if somebody else is trying shit, I will burn you into oblivion. If someone is mean to my friend, one time, do you remember this? Were you there when I nearly...
What?
A listener of the podcast, our friend Ben, at one point, we were walking. And it was after a show. You weren't there. And this woman almost hit him with her car.
Yeah, you told me about this. Yeah.
I nearly jumped in that. And then she said, I should have hit him.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the way. I almost jumped in that woman's car.
Her.
I almost jumped in that woman's car. Ben had to hold me back.
That is insane.
It was actually the craziest I've ever been. That was the craziest I've ever been.
All right.
I agree. This is a serious podcast.
So,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So they talk about Matt and she's like, yeah, he kidnapped my ass. And they're like, really? Huh. Well, I'm sure he had his reasons. And she's like, what the fuck do you mean I'm sure he had his reasons? That's nuts. And then she goes, all right, I got to get his ass back here because if I have to fight this clown, I need Matt on my side telling me how to kick his ass. Not that he would necessarily go for that, but like he'll go for that. He's Prince of the Ravens now. He understands. And then she's like, so, tell me, what type of man is he, this Matrim Coffin? I must admit, I found him to be something of an indolent scoundrel, too quick to find excuses to avoid oaths he'd taken. And Nynaeve goes, don't speak of him that way! Nynaeve, don't hush me, Rand al'Thor, he's your friend too. Matrim Coffin is one of the finest men you will ever know, your highness, and I won't listen to ill speech of him. What's right is right. And Rand's like, yeah, look, that's true. He's as solid a friend as one could hope for, though he does grumble about what his conscience makes him do. So they talk about this for a while. You want to talk about this Matt stuff at all?
I just think that's really nice.
It is nice.
Even Rand in his, business phase, where he doesn't care about anyone, cared enough about Matt to stand up for his character once Nynaeve did.
And then Rand goes, but this is irrelevant.
And she just neglects to tell him, oh, that's my husband.
Yeah. So he stands up, puts his hand on the table.
Which I do feel like is information that would have changed some of the tone of this meeting.
Potentially.
He would have been like, Mazel tov.
Stands up, puts his hand on the table, leans forward, and just stares directly into her eyes and goes, none of this matters. Matt doesn't matter. Our similarities and our differences do not matter. All that matters is need, and I need you. He spoke in that same... His form didn't change, but he suddenly seemed 100 feet tall. He spoke in that same calm, piercing voice, but there was a threat to it now. An edge.
Weird.
You must call off your attacks. You must sign a treaty with me. These are not requests. They are my will. And what happens?
It goes poorly because she goes, get the fuck out.
But does that immediately happen? What happens first for half a page?
The weird storm cloud thing.
The world seems to realign itself into a position for Tuon where it seems as though the only logical conclusion is for her to say, oh, that sounds like a great idea.
And she's choking on the word no.
And she's choking and can't think of a reason not to. And
it's honestly scary.
It's really fucking creepy.
It's really scary. And this is why I was no one wants to follow a scary person. No one wants to follow a scary person. You have to figure out how to be likable. Nynaeve is right. You have to be somewhat likable.
She felt short of breath as though a weight constricted her chest. She felt as if she couldn't help but bend before the will of this man.
No.
Despite the afternoon light, his face was shadowed, far more so than everything else beneath the pavilion.
This is such a dirty play that I'm you don't deserve to win.
No, this is bullshit. Her throat constricted and words... Her throat constricted... like a great heat, her throat constricted and words were forming. Yes, yes, I will do as you ask. Yes, I must. No, she said, the word barely a whisper. His expression grew darker, and she saw fury in the way he pressed his hand down.
He's
the way
scary.
He clenched his jaw.
Why are you being like
the way
this?
his eyes opened wider. Don't clench your jaw, Rand.
Don't clench your jaw.
Problem.
I figured it. Oh.
Yeah. Such intensity.
He just has jaw tension. Because you know what else? The jaw tension is, getting rid of my jaw tension is decreasing my anxiety. This is a serious podcast.
He began. No, she repeated, confidence growing. You will bow before me, Rand al'Thor. It will not happen the other way around. Such darkness, how could one man contain it? He seemed to throw a shadow the size of a mountain. She could not ally with this creature. That seething hatred, it terrified her, and terror was an emotion with which she was unfamiliar. This man could not be allowed freedom to do as he wished. He had to be contained.
All right.
He watched her for a moment longer. Very well, he said. His voice was ice. And then he leaves, and then what does she do?
She immediately declares herself empress.
Yeah, she declares herself empress.
For Tuona.
For Tuona, yes.
For Tuona. It's basically Tuon in the middle.
It is Tuon, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she declares herself empress. She changes her name. There's going to be a week of jubilation.
Bunch of celebrations. She will be allowed to execute as many members of the blood as she wants if she thinks they might have been opposed to this, because the Shanchan Society makes sense and is stable.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
As the Dakoval rose and began to sing the praises of her coronation, Tuon stepped up to General Golgan. Pass the word to General Yulan. Tell him to prepare his attack against the Marath Damane of Tar Valon. We must strike against the Dragon Reborn, and quickly. That man cannot be allowed to gain any more strength than he already has. And that's the end of chapter 35.
As a celebration for getting to whatever these chapters are that everyone seems so eager to
We have one more chapter to talk
to.
about.
I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
After the live stream is done.
Yeah.
Can we get Nutella?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yes. Okay, keep going.
Chapter 36, Allie, is called The Death of Tuon, and you started screaming.
I was so excited. I never get what I wish for.
That's the chapter logo. What is it?
It's the wheel.
It's the wheel. What's going on? We'll start with Matt.
Matt. He encounters Verin. Verin has instructions for him in a letter that he has to do. I think Verin played this so well.
Yeah?
Yeah, because Matt has ADHD. We've established this. Okay. And if there's one thing ADHD people can't resist, it's like unopened, mysterious things.
That tends to be true.
We can't resist a mystery. We can't resist a puzzle. We can't. We have to solve it. It's the hunter-gatherer in us. We need to play with it. So he's like, I'm not going to open that letter. Like, I'm not going to do your instructions unless you tell me what they are. And she's like, I can't tell you what they are for some reason, which odd, but probably will be revealed later. And she's like, okay, well then don't open it. And I'll be gone for versus 50 days. And she's like, wait for my return. And he's like, I'm not going to wait 50 days. I'll wait 20. And she goes, 30. We're compromising, which finally, this is how negotiations are supposed to work. These are two people interested in solving a conflict.
Yeah.
And then he goes, fine, I will wait 30 days with this letter just sitting here. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
Because he's going to open it.
Looking at it.
He's going to open it. He's going to open it. Because I would open the shit out of that letter. I wouldn't last 2 days. I would not last 2 days.
Tell me about how Verin ended up here, because I think it's really funny.
Okay, so here... Okay, you know what? From now on, when stuff in my life starts going wrong, I'll be like, Verin is happening. I'm being pulled in a direction for some reason. That's what I'm going to start doing, because I'm like, this is great. It's actually like a great attitude to have, where you're just like, I'm being pulled towards something. That's it. Like when like those little things start going wrong. You know burnt toast theory?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the podcast before.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, except it's Verin. And so I like that better.
It began.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
But I want to share.
I thought you were done.
How she got here. Okay, so she goes to this inn and she's like, okay, I need to leave. So I'm going to prepare, like I'm going to memorize the room and then I'm going to go. And as she's trying to memorize the room, the innkeeper comes in and is like, I need you to move rooms. And she's like, that's inconvenient, but okay. And so she moves rooms because there's a leak. And then she moves to a different room. And as she's trying to memorize that room, he comes in and is like, my wife lost her earring in here. I need you to move again. And she's like, we'll wait until after. And then, and she like closes herself in, and then the inn burns down.
Yeah.
And then she's like trying to leave, like that keeps happening as she's trying to leave. Like weird, bizarre things keep happening. And Matt's like, that's a coincidence. And she's like, okay, really? Because, then I decided I was done with traveling because things were being too weird. So, and I was starting to get fascinated, and I started to feel like maybe Verin was involved.
Because as soon as she stopped trying to travel from a place, what happened?
Nothing.
She stopped getting displaced. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, but she started feeling this like tug toward like south.
Northwest-ish.
Yeah. Or wherever Mirandy is.
Yeah.
Right? She started feeling this tug toward that thing. And she's like, well, that's weird.
Well, because where's she trying to get to?
She's trying to get to Camelin, I think.
No, Tarvalin.
Is it Tarvalin? Okay.
Tarvalin.
So she's like trying to do all this stuff and it won't let her. So then she decides she's going to take but she's like, this is kind of interesting. I want to see what happens because she's a Brown. Scientific study. She's like, I'm going to get on this cart and aim for Kyrian.
Skim. She's going to skim. And she's going to skim to Tarvalin. Because to skim, you need to know where you're going. And to travel, you need to know where you are.
Well, no. Then she gets on a cart.
Oh, she's going to boat.
No, it's a cart.
It's a
cart.
It's a cart. You're right.
It's a cart. I just read this.
Yeah, I know.
It's a cart.
I know.
So she gets on the cart.
I don't know why I thought it was a boat. It's not
they
a boat.
fall asleep on the cart, right? Because there's extra. Well, that's another way to transport yourself in this time period. So I don't think that's bad. But I'm like, it's a cart. So she gets on the cart with Tomas, and they wake up, and he has changed directions to go south to Mirandy because he's like, I need something from here. Like I have it on good authority that I can sell my goods for more in Mirandy. So I turned around and went to Mirandy. And he goes, I realize now I probably should have told you about this.
I should have mentioned that.
But I forgot. And I'm like, oh, really? So then Verin goes to Mirandy and waits for Matt. And she tells Matt that he's in grave danger because it's not her that's been passing out those flyers of him. It's someone else. And she's like, you're in grave danger. And he goes, I've been in grave danger this whole time. Where have you been?
Yeah.
Also, these two haven't seen each other really since Dagger Mat.
Really long fucking time.
He barely remembers her.
Really long fucking time.
So then they're sitting there and she's like, I think you're in more danger than ever. I think you should like travel around in disguise essentially and go into hiding, which is interesting. I'm like, who is looking for him?
Dark friends, I guess.
Millie Skane?
Maybe.
It's a woman. They said it's a woman.
Did they?
Mm-hmm. They said the woman who's passing these around.
Let me
is dangerous.
Find this. This is different, Verin said. No, hold on, sorry. I received this paper, Matrim. Call me Matt. I received this paper, Matrim, from a dark friend who told me, thinking me a servant of the shadow, that one of the Forsaken had commanded that the men in these pictures be killed. You and Perrin are in grave danger.
Matt goes, as opposed
that dark friend fucked up, man.
What?
Hey, you seem like a dark friend. Here you go. Okay.
I'm just gonna pass this out to a random Aes Sedai.
Sure.
And hope that she's chill.
Well, okay, great misread, King.
And doesn't realize, first of all, the Aes Sedai is not gonna go out and kill these people. Why would you give whatever? To Verin, probably.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, I want to read a little bit of this before we just burn all the way through it, because I think some of it's really fun.
No, please.
I began my journey in Tyr, Verin said, sitting down on Matt's best chair. Tomas took up position behind her. My goal was to make my way to Tarvalin. Then how'd you end up here? Matt said, still suspicious as he seated himself on the pillowed bench. He hated the thing. It was completely impossible to sit on it in any way that was comfortable. Pillows didn't help. Somehow they made the seat more awkward. Bloody thing must have been designed by insane cross-eyed Trollocs and built from the bones of the damned.
Okay, this is how I feel about the LA Philharmonic's
the
chairs.
Yeah.
They're insane.
I love how much Matt hates this bench.
I hate the LA Philharmonic chairs. I've never had a good experience sitting in those chairs. I've had an amazing experience with everything else about that experience. Yeah. But the chairs are untenable.
I ask myself the same question, Master Cawthon. How did I end up here? It certainly wasn't my intention, and yet here I am.
Plus, you can travel. So if you intended to go to the White Tower, then why not just bloody travel there and be done with it?
Would that it were that simple, Matrim.
Good questions, Verin said. Indeed. Might I have some tea?
And then they have some tea, and she drinks the tea, and... This time, studying her mannerisms seemed too exaggerated to him, as if she were leaning on the preconceptions about Browns, using them, fooling people, like a street performer taking in country boys with a clever game of 3-card shuffle.
This is me. This was me at our Magic the Gathering thing. Mm-hmm. So I was new to the game, and it was a bunch of boys who had been playing forever, and I was like, well... It behooves me right now to play the I'm just a girl in the world not understanding the game card, because there's no downside to this. Because if I'm just a girl in the world and I do badly, then I've fulfilled expectations. And so I have nothing to be embarrassed about. But if I'm doing well, they will never suspect me. And that's how I won.
You did win.
I kicked their ass.
She eyed him, that smile on the corner of her lips. That was the smile of a jackleg who didn't care that you were onto her con. Now that you understood, you could both enjoy the game, and perhaps together you could dupe someone else. Where are we landing right now, by the way, on, like, Verin as a whole? Because we haven't seen her in a minute, and I really enjoy this chapter, because now Matt is like, you're way smarter than you look.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got, like, a bag full of letters to give out to people, and she seems really adamant on getting to Tarvalin quickly.
It used to really bother me. This is relevant. It used to really bother me that people didn't immediately see how smart I am. Now I like it. Because I can use it.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway.
Yeah.
All that to say, I identify with this with Verin. Here's the thing. I've gone back and forth on Verin and what I think about Verin. I have a couple of things that lead me to believe that she is probably fine.
She's probably fine. Smart, but still putting on the doddering air, right?
Which I've said from the beginning.
Yeah.
I've said from the beginning, I think, you know, women learn how to play the game, right? Like, I think that's part of the reason why, like, on the whole, people say that women are better socially.
Yeah, sure.
It's because we have to play the game from a very young age, right? And we're, like, beaten by society into this corner, and you have to figure out how to, like, navigate that in a way. So I feel like her whole thing is she's like, I'm going to play the doddering old lady. But really, I'm using those preconceived notions about me to my advantage because it puts people on the back foot. It makes people reveal things to me that they might not otherwise if they knew.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They might pay attention to me less.
Yeah.
Like there's freedom in being that doddering old lady, right? Because people aren't looking at you in the same way. They're not suspecting you in the same way. And so she can fly under the radar and learn things because people might not be as careful in front of her, right? So I think that as suspicious as some of her actions are, Min has said that she is there to serve him, right?
Well, she said that about Elsa too.
And Elsa did in her way.
Yeah.
Well, because she said about Elsa, she was like, even Elsa in her way.
That's true.
Right.
Verin, during the Sumpulsion, I think she said she has to get get Rand al'Thor to the last battle because that's where he has to die or something.
Mm-hmm. Which is true. She has to help with that because he has to do his thing to save the world. He's Jesus, right? We know this. We know what Jesus has to do every time. But also, she, unless it's Deus Ex Eagle, you know.
Sure.
In Frodo's case. But I feel like the thing for me is I just feel like she's too beloved by the fandom.
To be a baddie?
Mm-hmm.
They love Lanfear.
Yeah, but it's the way they talk about her is different. Like there's a different vibe. I also feel like it's just a different vibe. Also, she and Van Dien got merged.
Oh, the show thing, yeah.
And nobody got upset by that. And I feel like if they were on opposite sides, people would have been like, but how is that going to work?
Sure. That does assume people remember who Van Dien is.
That's true.
The dog is running aggressively in his sleep right next to Allie, if you can hear that.
And I'm being kicked.
Repeatedly kicked.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, he loves to be right next to my body at all times. And so when he's asleep, he kicks me. But I think those are the big thoughts I have about that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I think maybe part of this is just my desire because I love her so much. My desire is that she is not bad.
Okay.
And I think Robert Jordan loves her.
He seems to.
This is the thing. I think she's like the one Aes Sedai that I feel like never really feels like she's put on a shelf.
That's true. She's been pretty
She's very present in every book.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. She's even gotten her own POVs.
Brandon also, people asked Brandon, what's the first thing you looked up when you got access to the notes? He said, Verin. First thing I looked up was
because
Verin.
everyone loves her.
Yeah.
Everyone loves her. She's a little suspicious. I do think that right now we have a coterie of old ladies that are not bad, that, you know, maybe one of them does need to be bad. And I could see there being a world in which like Verin is bad and she and Cad's away and have an old... I just really want this old lady battle.
You really
apparently.
want an old lady battle.
I really want an old lady battle.
Well, because again, we just got to watch part of season 3, episode 1. And without spoiling too much, it opens with a middle-aged woman battle that is like 15 fucking minutes long.
This is my thing. These older women who have honed their skills to a point where they're able to just shred it. I mean, and this scene is out, so I don't feel like
it's out. Yeah,
bad saying anything.
It was posted on YouTube.
Yeah, this scene is out. I think the reason why society tells us that men age well and women age poorly, which I don't think is actually true at all, is because society is afraid of the power of older women.
I'll take that.
And so they have to like bring us down in some way to try to control us.
Yeah.
By saying like your age now makes you not valuable anymore in some way. Like they imply it, right?
Yeah.
First of all, older women are incredible, beautiful, amazing. But the life experience to the wisdom that they have, I just want to follow them around and ask questions all the time. I just want, like at this point, I'm making all of these older friends now in my life who are, you know, sometimes like 10, 20 years older than I am. And to me, they're the most fascinating people on this planet. Like, especially the ones who are in the industry where I'm just like, how did you do it? How do you do it all the time? The ones with kids, I'm like, how do you do this industry that is so crazy and weird and ridiculous. And then you're also just being alive. And as hard as that is, and then raising children on like just incredible. And yes, men too, men also, but just women. And then just to see them in their power and their glory in these incredible costumes that show off how beautiful these women are. I don't
want to get too far from the book because we only have a little time left. I agree with you. This is all fucking awesome.
I mean, just the bisexual urge to worship older women is very strong.
Last couple things, I guess,
and
about...
the feminist urge to worship older women. They're just better.
Last couple things, speaking of older women, about Verin. Any other thoughts kind of on what's up with her? She's got a bag full of letters. She's talked before about, does this tie into that like 70-year plan thing she's had that we still don't know about?
I mean, I'm sure it does. Discord's going ham for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's because the reactions
are bad friends. But
they can't hear it. It's all the way over there.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
No, they can't hear. No. We can. It's coming through the speakers.
It's so distracting.
Yeah, I know.
But okay, so yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about that. Okay. I just, you know what? Here's the thing. The letter to Matt convinced me that she's not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What if the letter is, ha ha ha, fuck you, I'm evil. Here comes some, I don't know, monstros.
Verin wanted her there. Verin wanted her there, which leads me to believe that she's not bad. She needed to give him those instructions, and then she did it in such a way because ADHD recognizes ADHD. Yeah. These two, it's the ADHD meeting. This is the title of the episode, the ADHD meeting.
No, the title of the episode is A Serious Podcast.
You're right.
Yeah, it's got to be.
But this is the ADHD meeting. It's the two ADHD people in the book meeting together, and she is older and wiser and knows this boy cannot resist something he's not allowed to do or some kind of mystery. So I'm just going to, because of his ADHD, I'm just going to dangle this mystery in front of him for 30 days. That's an insane amount of time.
A month, yeah.
I would open that in 30 hours. 30 hours.
So why does she
Don't give me something I can't open. I will open it. I have to.
What does she think her Verin purpose is in being here?
To give him that letter and warn him about the thing?
To get him to Camelin.
Oh, yeah.
The level of danger you are in,
But she was curious as to why her.
Let us simply agree that you are in great, great danger. I suggest that you be very careful during the next few weeks.
But she did ask a good question, which is why her?
Yeah.
When there's a lot of other Aes Sedai. And there's another part of me that's like, to prevent her from going to Tar Valon during this.
Oh, during the siege.
Because she's necessary.
Could be rough.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she can go.
Verin goes, I can solve two problems.
Once she gets Matt there, she can probably go.
Once she gets Matt there. Sure. But if something pops up at Camelin before she gets to leave, because she has to memorize a whole...
Stuck in Camelin. That's possible.
I mean, it's possible Verin needs Verin for some reason.
So she gives him the letter, says, open this 10 days. I'll get your army to Camelin if you open this 10 days after I drop you off. And he tries to open it. She goes,
you aren't to open them until that day. What? But that is my cost.
Bloody woman. I'm not going to swear to something unless I know what it is.
I doubt you'll find my instructions harsh, Matrim.
I pass on it.
Matrim, you call me Matt, and I said there's no deal.
I'll be in Camelin in 20 days of marching anyway. I'm not going to have you tying strings around me, woman.
I'd forgotten how difficult you can be.
And proud of it.
And if we have a compromise?
Can I be difficult?
We all can be. You'll tell me what's on that bloody paper?
No, because I might not need you to go through with the contents.
You're not difficult.
Nor are you.
I hope to be able to return to you and relieve you of the letter and send you on your way.
It's a bold-faced lie.
But if I cannot...
The compromise, then?
You may choose not to open the letter. Burn it.
Bold-faced lie or bald-faced lie?
I don't know.
I always thought it was bald-faced, but then somebody said bold-faced.
But if you choose to do so, you wait 50 days in Camelin, just in case it takes me longer to return than I'd expected.
And he's like, 20. She goes,
30.
He goes, all right, fine. But then I get to leave, because that's actually not going to shave much time off my plans anyway.
It's bold-faced lie. I always thought it was bald-faced lie.
Serious podcast! Serious!
We're almost there. Okay, I always thought it was bald-faced lie because, you have a plain face, bald face.
Or you can open the letter after 10 days and do what it says.
That
One
made
of
no
the two,
sense.
Matrim. I have your word.
You do, but I'm not going to open the bloody letter. I'm going to wait 30 days, then be off on my business.
We shall see.
Nat, we both know the ADHD in you will not honor that.
Begin breaking down your camp, Matrim. I need to make your gateway as soon as possible. I myself need to travel shortly.
Fine. Why was Verin being so cryptic? Burn it, he thought. I'm not going to open it. I'm not.
You're going to open that.
Matt tucked the folded paper into his belt, then started to leave. And have somebody burn that bloody bench. I can't believe we carted the thing this far. And we switch perspective.
Okay, I don't understand how people are saying that he writes Matt badly.
I think
this
it's fucking
to me
funny.
Is absolutely consistent with Matt. But whatever, we can disagree on that.
Tuon was dead.
Yes.
Gone.
Thank God.
Cast aside. Forgotten.
Yes.
Tuon had been the daughter of the 9 moons. She was now just a notation in the histories.
Yes.
For Tuona.
Oh.
For Tuona was empress. For Tuona Atayam Devi Paindrag kissed the soldier. Oh, okay.
Okay, wait. Can you imagine? Okay, sorry. I know. We're going. But can you imagine how frustrating it would be to be a Seanchan historian?
Probably pretty massively fucking
Because you'd have to
frustrating.
track all of the name changes. There's no consistency. That would go. I would go
That's
insane.
not unrealistic. I mean, kings frequently get a different name when they get crowned.
And it's annoying. But,
yeah.
But in this, it's not just the kings that change names. It's everyone every time they get a promotion.
That's true.
Yeah. It's worse. It's everyone. It's like, because the peasants back then didn't change their names. It would just be really frustrating.
That's true.
Most people don't change their names in their life.
All right, give me the rundown on what's going on.
Unless you have a really stupid name.
Give me the rundown, or there are other reasons. Give me the rundown on
Well, of course, there are other reasons.
Give me the rundown on what's going on with Tuon.
What's going on with Tuon? She's Empress now. There's going to be all this celebration, and she's attacking the White Tower for sure.
What specifically is she doing right now?
Preparing for war.
By
she's
doing
got these
what?
assassins.
Yes.
She's got these assassins, dude. What are they called? The blood knives?
Blood knives.
Dude, the blood knives are sick.
They're fucking creepy as hell.
That's sick as shit. That's the sickest. That might be that and Gray Men are like the 2 sickest mechanics in these books. Okay, because they have a ring. Can I tell you about the blood knives?
Yes, please.
So they have a ring. I haven't been this fucking jazzed about these books and
It's so fucking fun.
Anyway,
these parts.
Yeah, this book has popped off. Okay, so did he come up with blood knives, Brandon? Was that
I don't
him?
know. It
Okay,
feels
whatever.
like it
It's
might have been.
Cool as shit. So they put the rings on, these rings, and the rings will kill them after a while.
Yeah. They are
But it
guaranteed
makes them able to
die.
basically like hide in the shadows and be like all assassiny.
Yeah.
But they have to put a drop of their blood on it to activate it, and then once it's activated, it will slowly kill you.
But yeah, they get like
And they're supposed to kill as
stealthy
many
assassin murder
Aes Sedai
powers.
as possible.
Yes, they're fucking cool. They're terrible, but they're fucking
They're
cool.
fucking cool.
She's going down to each blood knife and then kissing their foreheads and going, "May your death bring victory. May your knife draw blood. May your children sing your praises until the final dawn." By the way, bunch of women in this army.
So cool.
That's cool.
Listen, I don't like the Seanchan. That being said, there are some interesting and cool things about them, like the blood knives and the Racken and the fact that women are in the army and nobody talks about it like it's weird. Fucking A. Fucking A.
General Yulan is setting up the getting ready to go. And he goes, "Let it be known by the Empress, may she live forever, that we shall not fail her." And Salucci goes, "It is known. Light follow you. Know that Her Majesty, may she live forever, saw a new spring rose drop 3 petals in the garden today. The omen of your victory has been given. Fulfill it, General, and your reward shall be great." Within moments, the first Racken ran down a long pasture outside the back of the pen, marked with poles and streamers, then launched itself into the air. Others followed.
This
the
is
fleet,
about to be chaos.
more than Fortuona had ever seen in the sky at once. As the final light of sunset died, they struck northward. "We have changed everything," Fortuona said softly. "General Galgan is wrong. This will not give the Dragon Reborn a worse bargaining position. It will turn him against us." "And was he not against us before?" Salucia asked. "No," Fortuona said. "We were against him."
Let's piss off the person
there is
who's
a
supposed
difference?
to save the world.
Yes.
That sounds like a good plan, Tuon.
Fortuona said, watching the cloud of Torakan just barely visible in the sky. "There is. I fear we shall soon see just how big a difference that is. And that's the end of chapter 36, and we did it with 1 minute to spare. Thanks for listening, everybody. We have social media if you want to know what we got going on. It's linked down below. We have some Patreon info to support us that way. It's patreon.com/wheeltext, and you can always leave us a rating and review, which helps a lot if you want. Other than that, anything else, Ellie?
Serious podcast.
Bye.
You gotta say it too!
Bye.